Early childhood education grants provide funding to support high-quality early learning preschool services that prepare children for success in kindergarten. The grant funding allows programs to maximize children's early educational experiences before kindergarten and provide high-quality early learning services to eligible children. The Comprehensive Continuous Improvement Plan, CCIP, is a grants application and verification system that includes the project cash request, which must be submitted to receive funds. This guide to complete the project cash request goes through each step of the process. Please view the corresponding tutorial document available on our website for additional support. Contact Early Childhood Education at education.ohio.gov with any questions. Grant funds are requested by submitting a project cash request. All requests are governed by the Cash Management Improvement Act and state regulations. Together, these guidance pieces outline the requirements and regulations that must be adhered to when submitting a project cash request. When you submit a cash request, you agree to the 9 requirements or assurances listed in the tutorial document. In CCIP, you can only have one active project cash request pending for the designated grant at any given time. You must wait until the active project cash request status changes to paid before the system will allow you to generate another request. Step 1 is to run a year-to-date financial report or fiscal summary. The tutorial document contains a link to an example financial report you can use as a guide. This format is especially helpful when prorating costs allocable to the grant. View and note the monetary amounts that have been spent in each category according to object code. Use the glossary at the end of the tutorial document to help you understand the fiscal terminology. Let's walk through completing a PCR in CCIP together. Log into CCIP and go to Funding and choose Project Cash Requests. Using the drop-down, select the appropriate year and application and click on the grant. On the project summary page, click Create New PCR and confirm. On the Project Cash Request Sections page, click Request. Step 3 is to enter the cost center number used by the grantee to track current year funding. The cost center number is a number used by the grantee to identify and track receipts and expenses associated with the grant. The cost center number is assigned by the grantee, and the use of a cost center number is optional. If a cost center number is not used by the grantee, this field on the PCR should remain blank. Please refer to the USAS manual for additional information regarding cost center numbers. The manual can be found by searching USAS Manual on the Auditor of State website. Using the financial report, enter the amounts paid in each category according to object code and the total cash basis expenditures by object sections of the project cash request. The fiscal information as of date. The grant recipient should have created a current expenditure report to capture expenses as of the date of the project cash request. Therefore, this date will normally reflect the current date. However, if the financial report captures expenses through an earlier date, the earlier date should be used. Total cash basis expenditures. Enter the amount of cash payments issued to date by object. Do not include encumbered amounts. This section of the project cash request is cumulative, and amounts entered should only reflect the expenses that have been paid to date. Do not include any additional unpaid expense amounts in this section. If the total monetary cash amounts spent are greater than the monetary cash amounts received, the difference will be reflected as a negative amount. Note that supporting documentation can be attached to the project cash request, but is not required for approval. However, if the grants management consultant needs additional information to approve the request, you will be notified and your project cash request will be returned requesting this documentation be attached. If desired, you may attach a year-to-date summary report or transaction-level financial report prior to submitting the project cash request, but this is optional and not required. See the link at the bottom of the page to upload documentation. Note that there is an optional step to request in advance described in the tutorial document. Finally, proceed to Step 4, approving the project cash request. Verify that your payment is accurate. The payment amount equals any applicable negative amount plus the advance amount and is reflected in the total amount requested field. Once you have entered all the necessary information, hover over Go To and then click Sections. change the status of the project cash request to draft completed. Next, confirm. Finally, change the status to fiscal representative approved and confirm. Only the treasurer or fiscal representative can change the status of the project cash request to fiscal representative approved. If the status does not reflect fiscal representative approved, then the project cash request has not yet been submitted to the department for review and approval. Once the status has been changed to fiscal representative approved, the project cash request has been submitted to your grants management consultant at the Department of Education for review and approval. Please keep in mind that you can only draw down funds for the number of early childhood education funded children that are served in the program. This will assure that you do not receive funding for unfilled slots, resulting in an overpayment of funds. At the end of the fiscal year, you will be required to report the maximum number of early childhood education grant-funded children served at any one time during the fiscal year. If the program draws down more funds than allowable, based on maximum number served at any one time, the program will be required to reimburse the department the difference between the amount they should have received and the amount they were actually reimbursed. You will be reimbursed for slots that have been vacated. However, any new enrollments will fill those vacated slots before being counted as additional filled slots. For more information, please contact the Office of Early Learning and School Readiness. Janine Kale is the Assistant Director. Aaron Bagley serves the eastern half of the state, and Amy Parker serves the western half of the state. Sign up to have email updates sent directly to you, and check our page frequently. This wraps up the information we have to present to you, but we're sure that it won't be the last of the new information the department develops for you. Thank you for viewing this presentation, and don't hesitate to reach out to us with any questions.